Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I forgot to upload this video for whatever reason, but apparently Grindr experiences outages in the same town as NRC convention. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? A bunch of closeted Republicans at an NRC convention hooking up, and then they made the server crash. Yeah, Grindr completely crashed, had a bunch of outages around the same area as the NRC convention, and it turns out that when around the time that this happened, that a lot of the profiles were blank. That should tell you everything you need to know. I don't know if this is really news to most people. I think like most people kind of had like a good hint that a lot of people in the NRC convention were closeted. Um, this just makes it a little bit more funnier because I didn't expect for all of them to like crash the entire app. You know how many people have to use Grinder for the whole thing to crash? Like it's Grinder. Like it was meant for a lot of people to use it at once. It's a hookup app. It was meant for a lot of people to use that at once. But when you have like thousands and thousands of people showing up to a convention, like and you got to think about it like this. There's other conventions too. Like there's Comic Con. There's like the furry convention. There's like V2 conventions too. But like out of all those conventions, this is the only one that managed to crash out. Right? Oh my God. And apparently this has been a common thing to happen. Not like the outages, but apparently having random hookups with a bunch of guys at a NRC convention has been kind of a normal thing for like the past decade or so. I bet it goes even deeper than that. I think it's just like the app makes it a little bit more convenient, but they've probably been doing this for probably since the 80s. Has to be. Definitely in the 80s. But just to think, like their wives are in the audience, trying to pass bills for gay to limit gay rights, and your husband's in the bathroom. All right, let's just read this. Yeah, the internet is connecting the dots after Grindr experiences outages in the same town as NRC convention. The popular dating app for gay men, Grindr, has been experiencing an influx of usage in a certain Midwest town. Of course, Midwest town. So NRC convention because guess what? Usually Midwest towns are not that heavily populated, and how many people? What percentage of that Midwest town would even classify as LGBT or even closeted? Like, what if there's more people? There's probably more people at this convention than there is in the entire population of the town. Let's just be for real. Multiple users online have been sharing screenshots and reports that Grindr is experiencing some massive outages in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I think that's what it says, Wisconsin. This just says Wis, which also happens to be where the Republican National Convention is currently being held. Based on the U.S. map available on Down Detector, Grindr has been experiencing a surge of outages and issues in big cities like New York, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. And yes, Milwaukee. And of course, it didn't take long for the internet to put two and two together and comment on the odd coincidence online. So they give you like the little map down here. I'm going to show it to you guys right here. All right, so it's mostly like the eastern section of the map. Yeah, New York, Washington, obviously those are the two main ones. Chicago, yeah, the big cities, pretty much. San Francisco, surprisingly not San Francisco. That's weird. Surprisingly not in Los Angeles either. Maybe this was like so the map showing Grindr outages in the past 24 hours from the Down Detector screenshot taken July 18th. Okay, I thought they were going to give me a time. Maybe this is like I was going to say maybe this is like rush hour or something because I'm surprised that San Francisco and Los Angeles doesn't have higher numbers. Tampa doesn't surprise me. Definitely not Atlanta. I feel like America is like mostly like if you exclude all these like major cities over here, like Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, like these are like the major cities. Like if you take all these cities away, America has nothing. Like think about it. Like there's nothing in these mid sections. I mean, for Christ's sakes, this is like a desert. Like Nevada's a desert, Phoenix is kind of a desert, New Mexico's a desert. Parts of Texas is kind of a desert. I wouldn't really count Texas just because it has so much more to offer as a whole, infrastructurally wise. It just has more. I'm not counting Mexico; that's not part of a country. But yeah, even up here, Tennessee, all that over here has nothing to offer. It's literally just these coastal cities. What makes up America? You take these away, and then there is no America. It really is just farmland and inhabitable deserts and lizards and stuff. I mean, I guess we did have oil in most of the regions of America, but those have since dried up for the most part. Like if you want to be an oil engineer, then they said, like, my friend was an oil engineer, but he said it was hard to get work if you don't, like, apply for jobs on oil rigs, basically, because like the inland jobs don't really exist for the most part. It's mostly just, oil rigs in the ocean somewhere. He didn't want to do that, but I mean, he had to. He didn't have a choice. But anyway, internet users, mostly on TikTok, are joking about the Grindr crash. Mo- Sorry, guys. Are joking about the Grindr crashes in the same city the RNC is being held in. The Republican Party has been a big player in pushing for anti-LGBTQ legislation. I don't know if you can hear him. He's my cat. Don't know if you hear this little guy. Anyway, let me start that again. The Republican Party has been a big player in pushing for anti-LGBTQ plus legislation in the U.S., which is why the news that the popular gay dating app saw an influx of users in the same place the NRC is being held quickly drew attention online. Of course, there's no official connection we can draw between the two, but the internet has been having a heyday with connecting the dots on a series of online memes. I think there's even like a cartoon animated video based on this. I'm gonna try to link it in the description if I can. Hopefully it didn't get taken down by TikTok, but hopefully I can still, show you guys. There's a picture of what it looks like. Breaking an executive of gay dating app Grindr says the Republican National Convention is basically the Grindr Super Bowl. So yeah, like I said, this has been happening for years. I think the only reason why people are picking this up is because there was an outage, but it's nothing new. It's this is basically a culture of the NAS or whatever, the RNS. Oh my God, sorry. This is basically a culture of the Republican National Convention. It's basically, Grindr Super Bowl, which is kind of crazy because like you're comparing it to like New York City, San Francisco, Washington, um, DC, LA, Texas, Seattle, like a bunch of these like gay capitals in the country, and you're saying that this basically gives you the most business. That's freaking crazy. It's probably like the best day of the year for most of them. A way to cheat on their spouses, and these are the same people that will like explain that like, the sanctity of marriage and stuff, but you're constantly cheating on your significant other. So that's just BS. But anyway, one Grindr user even opened the app while attending the RNC themselves. Shared in the video online, all these profiles that came out were listed at 0 miles away, which doesn't necessarily indicate. I love you too. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that those online were at the NRC, the NA. Why do I keep saying NRC? Oh, never mind. And the RNC, but at any rate, they were very close to it. The RNC is being held at the Fisher Forum in Wisconsin Southern District in downtown Milwaukee from July 15th to July 18th. And within a time span, Grindr's Down Detector has reported multiple issues with the gay dating app. All right, this is okay. So I think this is like a different thing for the most part. But yeah, then it's like I researched and it's like how many people are on Grindr globally. So it says 13.5 million monthly active users, and the app has been downloaded nearly 80.1 million times worldwide. Grindr is a social network for the LGBTQ community and has been available in almost every country since the launch in 2009. While North America and Europe are Grindr's core audiences, countries like Brazil, India, and Mexico have the most downloads. Oh, that's kind of crazy. India, Mexico, and Brazil. I kind of feel bad because these countries are known for like their bias against the LGBT. Like you can get killed in Brazil for being queer in certain areas. Like Brazil's a really big country, but still like they're like trust me, you can definitely get killed in Brazil for being queer. Same thing in India. It's a little bit more accepted. It's depending on where you are. Like I said, status and all that. Let's just say in a lot of, especially in Mexico too, you would have to be completely DL in most of these countries to use Grindr, and then even then you have to be safe because there are cases where people will pretend to be, gay on these apps just to like, fortunately, jump you or, hurt you or whatever. It's basically kind of, sometimes it's like a setup where they would like try to like set you up and try to trick you, and then yeah. I feel like this really does speak to humanity when it's like this is their core audience. Like America and Europe is their core audience, but then these are their main downloaded users. That says a lot. That really does say a lot. That's kind of sad. Um, and then over here, you have views about homosexuality among Republicans and Republican leaners by state. So you see all like this huge list is like should be accepted, should be discouraged, neither, both, don't know. I feel like these colors are a little too close together, but I guess you can kind of see it on the grid. So Alabama, 34% says it should be accepted, and then 62 says it should be discouraged, and then they don't have a percentage for neither, and I don't know. Alaska is almost halfway. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I feel like there's like a lot of crime that happens in like Alaska because the population is so small. So like the crime net is kind of huge, and especially the people who go to Alaska. Like you gotta think to yourself, unless you have like a lot of money where you can buy like a huge plot of land in Alaska, why the hell would you move to Alaska? There's nothing up there for you. I think there's like Anchorage, and then that's it. That's like the only city up there. But and even then, it's like a small population of like maybe a few hundred people. Because like, who the hell wants to go to freaking Alaska? It's like you're basically at the North Pole almost. Um, like I think Greenland's a little bit lower in latitude than freaking Alaska. But then there's Arizona, which is like 50-50, surprisingly. Like I said, Arizona is basically a desert, low population. Arkansas, I'm playing Arkansas. Arkansas is like 35% accepted, and then it's like 60% should be discouraged. Okay. California, surprisingly 50-50, almost, sort of. Like I said, California, it's like those major cities kind of, since they're like highly populated, they do kind of lean more towards the left. Um, but then if you leave those major cities and go to like smaller towns or whatever, they're going to be a little bit, like their political leanings are going to be a little bit more right. Just because, I don't know, I think the way this country's like set up, population wise, it's so misleading because you have like populations that are like really big, like in the hundreds of millions. Well, not hundreds, but like tens of millions. But then you have like little towns that are like barely 50 people in it. But they're supposed to like represent the entire state, which is really misleading if you go outside that city. Anyway, they have Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky. I feel like this is kind of misleading. I feel like the numbers should be like a little bit higher. This is 2024, right? Huh. Guess not. Massachusetts is pretty good. I feel like the numbers are a little bit higher. I don't know. I feel like they're counting New York is 58. Yeah, that number seems about accurate. Yeah, that number seems about accurate. I live there, so yeah, just about accurate. Like I swear, if you go anywhere outside of New York City, it's a completely different landscape. Like yeah, it's a completely different landscape. Like I said, North Dakota, Idaho, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, blah, 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 blah. You pretty much get the gist. I feel like this is kind of. I thought the numbers would be like a little bit higher than this. I didn't think it would be like this low, for in terms of acceptance. But okay. But yeah, everyone. So you get the big picture here. I think the words speak for themselves at this point. Shoot, I probably didn't have to. I probably could just give you like the links to these websites, and I probably didn't even have to say anything. You can kind of just put two and two together at this point. Oh, there's a. Okay, this is just yeah, just a table. I like the chart better. It's easier. But anyways, leave me your thoughts and comments down below. Were you actually surprised by this, or did you honestly just see it coming this entire time, or did you even participate? You probably wouldn't tell me if you participated or not. You probably are DL on Grindr, so it's okay. But anyway, leave me a like and comment and subscribe. Um, I'll check in with you guys with a new update if there's any updates. This happened about a week ago, so we'll see. But anyways, have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys later.